little bit of wedding planning.
Ooh.
Because if you didn't know, we're engaged.
We are engaged.
So.
I should put, I'm going to repost the video of us when we got engaged.
It's so long ago
because
now.
because we got engaged about 2 years ago, and you know, we've just been so busy and stuff, but now we're finally, you know, having the wedding. So it'll be in October after the Olympia, so we're just planning for that. And today, guys, I'm off to Toronto. I'm getting a Dexa Scan, so we're gonna kind of go over that. I'm gonna try to get as much video content as I can. Victoria's staying here at the gym, watching the gym this morning for me, so she can't come, but I'm gonna try to get as much video as I can for you. And yeah, so Toronto's from London is about a 2-hour drive, so I gotta get on the road now. My appointment's at 10, it's 7:45, so let's just hope there's no traffic.
Seriously.
All right, guys, so this should be a good day. I've got back later today. I'm probably gonna be training in Toronto. I'm not sure who with, maybe one of my friends, so we'll see. Alright guys, so we're now here at Studio Athletica. It's 366 Bay Street in Toronto, where I'm going to get the Dexa Scan.
So there's only one person in here, an hour usually.
Okay.
So at any one point when you come in, it is gonna have this type of feel. We have patients really cool right now in, and you won't even know it.
Right. Okay.
It's in the perimeter.
It's in separate.
Exactly.
Cool.
So you come in for the medical side, you go in through the hallway, and then I'll kind of show you.
Very cool.
I'll start on this side. So this is a chiropractic office.
Oh wow, chiropractic. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm the sports chiro here.
I need that. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're recording now, right?
Yeah.
This is where we do the stem cells and PRPs.
Stem cells, eh? Wow. Okay.
So we do everything.
You guys do everything.
Yeah. We do it under live ultrasound.
Wow.
First page is kind of the diagram page. It shows you your skeletal, shows you the muscle, and it shows you the shadow version where we get to kind of align the positioning for the x-ray. Orange is the muscles, yellow is the fat. You don't see any yellow because you have so minimal. Here's the general summary. We're not going to go over that because it's going to show more of the detail as we go through. And the test is done at Studio Athletica Push Pounds. We're located at 366 Bay Street on the 10th floor in downtown Toronto. All right, so Second page kind of tells you what lean muscle mass is. I'm not going to get too detailed into that. I'm sure you're aware of what lean muscle mass is and what fat is and what bone is, and these are what compromises the body. So when we see the lean mass, this is where the computer has measured you to be 252 pounds.
That's very accurate.
And the number that of that 252 pounds, we have 221 pounds of muscle. And that's the total muscle that you have in the body. Now from that 252 pounds, we have 22.6 pounds of that being fat. Now that is the ratio of what makes up the weight in terms of fat to muscle. And obviously there's also bone that makes some of that. So when we factor all three in, your body fat percentage relative to everything else is 8.9%, which is pretty good. It's one of the lower ones we've seen. A typical average male who's fit is in the low teens. Someone competing like yourself, I would expect them to be below the teens. And into the single digit numbers, okay? Obviously some of the fat is essential, you're never gonna eliminate it. One of the most common questions I get is, how low can I drop that number? And you know, it's really different patient to patient, training wise, genetics, food, diet, a lot of factors go into it. But there is some fat that is just essential fat to life. You can't eliminate all fat, or otherwise we would end up dead, because the fat is used to do some type of metabolic activity in the body and used for physiological things such as insulation and so forth, okay? So when we go to the next page, this is a very cool number. This actually measures how much muscle you have per meter squared. It kind of gives you your relative skeletal muscle index. So as people start to age, you know, people also lose muscle mass, and this is where we get to see that number. Or as people start to train, they get to put on muscle mass, and this is where we get to see how much they put on in an area of their body. I don't really like to pay too much attention to the RMR with the Dexa. It is not the gold standard for Dexa. However, the technology built into Dexa and some of the factors that it calculates gives you a nice, good estimate. We find that it's not completely accurate, but it's a good ballpark for someone that hasn't really had it done, okay? And with you can see that you're somewhere around 24 or 2,500 calories at rest.
Okay. So I can have 2,500 calories and not change. The body will not change.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But that's not calculating, you know, the activity.
Absolutely
right.
Not.
So
and this doesn't even calculate you sitting here talking to me. This is completely at rest. If you were to not move and just lay in bed, simply breathing and having your heart and your brain functioning.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so that would be that. And it's not the gold standard in medicine.
Yeah.
We do offer a test that's coming, we're introducing that is going to be the gold standard. However, if you haven't had that, it's a good enough guesstimate number to go based off of. Well, from your level of caliber, I wouldn't be using that number. This is where Dexa gets really fun and really interesting, and it is the only unit in the industry that allows us to measure body composition between left side and right side. And that's where you get to see both arms, how much muscle you have in each arm, how much fat you have in each arm, how much of that is in the right versus the left, how much of that muscle that we talked about, the 220 pounds, is in your legs, how much of it is in the right leg, left leg, how much fat, which was the 20 pounds of fat, how much of that is in the both legs, left versus right, trunk, left versus right. So this allows you that whole symmetrical training and knowing exactly what left and right side looks like, okay? Which is the only machine, and this is a GE Lunar Prodigy. The last page is a simple glossary to explain the simple terms and things that, you know, what's fat mass, what's lean mass, and we're not going to go over that because these are simple things that you can read over yourself. All right, and that concludes our report.
That's killer.
Yeah,
that's
all right.
Thanks, man.
Awesome, no problem. Pleasure. All right, so that's lean, fat, bone. Yeah, beautiful. Save that and rescan it. So we're checking his hip alignment, seeing where he puts more pressure, whether it's on the left or right side. And here you can see the midline, and you can see that he favors slightly to the left. Very minimal, which tells us that he does have a slight functional restriction in his hip joints. And where we want to start to put some focus. And he's quite heel heavy, so I want to shift a bit of the weight to the midfoot as well and have him load more of the forefoot. All right, let's do a dynamic scan. Dr. Bowie. So now we're checking foot function during gait. So when he loads up his weight on his feet and how things are functioning. Wrong. Let's start that again. Gotta watch it. Okay, come back around this way. Good. So when you hear that beep, it's good. Then you go right in. Perfect. Okay. Left foot in. And last one, right foot in. Okay, I'll give you this. All right.
I am one of the founders of Alarm.com. When we started the company more than 15 years ago.
Okay, so a couple of things I want to look for is to see if left and right foot are equal and how you're loading up the feet when you walk, okay? One thing I want to check is where are you putting your maximum pressure point? And you can see that on the left side, you're putting your maximum pressure point on the balls of the foot and kind of into that like big toe area, okay? And you can see that your foot rolls into that big toe, okay? And on the right foot, you're putting all of your heel onto the heel, all the pressure onto the heel. So you do have a bit of an asymmetrical loading of the hips, okay? So when we get you adjusted, we're gonna be able to even some of that out, okay? We also wanna look for to see how much of a roll your feet have. And the way we measure that to see is where is the pressure of your feet when you walk. Okay. So this line that you see is a normal pressure line, okay? This is what the computer measures to be normal. Now what we want your line to look like, or your pressure line when you walk, is to kind of have this nice curve as well. This nice curve tells me that the foot is nice and functional. Okay, so when you load your body with weight, the foot and the arches are being supported. What we don't want to see is a line that looks straight and rigid. A rigid straight line means that as the foot lands, it doesn't curl nicely into the big toes and you toe off. I see. Which is what you see is happening as you walk.
Okay, so that's good then.
That is good. This is what normal is, okay? And it makes sense because the foot kind of lands and then rolls and then you toe off, okay? And this rolling in of the foot organically and smoothly is a good thing for the body because it allows it to recycle the pressures of landing. Now when we take a look at your line, we can see that it is straight. Okay? And that's not good. That tells me that this is a foot that doesn't have as much mobility in it. Okay? It's a little bit rigid, it's stiff, and you can also see that as you go to toe off, you do this little weird thing. Twerk.
Jeez.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what would aggravate some of that hip. Which side do you feel more tension on? Left or right side? On the right side. And you can see that when we did the scan, statically,
like I always favor my right. So like when I'm sitting down in the car, I'm on my right side.
Yeah.
Or if I'm standing here, like I was just doing now, I'm on my right side.
Exactly. And you and you can see that when you do the scan, you are slightly favoring left, because most people favor the side that has less tension.
I see.
Because your right side, you feel more tension on.
Yeah.
When you naturally stand, people like to take pressure off the side that they feel pain.
Okay.
Okay, so especially someone with right-sided foot pain, right-sided knee pain, when we scan them, most of their weight is on their left because they want to favor that side, okay? So you're someone that will benefit from adjustments. There are some type of movement.
Yeah. One more time.
Beautiful. Good movement.
Come forward. And we're gonna do the same on the other side.
Yeah. Bring the headpiece up a bit more.
Relax my body.
Yeah, you gotta relax, otherwise it's not gonna work well. So what we're doing is evening out his hips, aligning left and right side, so when he starts to lift. wish you